Hey friends, and welcome back. This is Nancy May, the Handy Scandy, and welcome to another crafty venture. So this video is part of a card hop to celebrate Maria Nyce of Maria Nyce Designs. She just reached her 100 subscriber milestone here on YouTube, and we couldn't be happier and more excited for her. This is such a big deal. So this is my very first card hop, and I'm honored that she would ask me to participate. The theme for today's card hop is Strength and Kindness. What's your superpower? And this is the card I'll be making for you today. While I show you the supplies I've used, I will tell you a little bit about today's theme. So the idea behind the theme is for each creator in our hop to show our strength and kindness and determine what our superpower is. So whatever our strength is in card making, that is what Maria has asked us to use in this card hop. So for me, I love stenciling, and layered stencils has fast become a favorite of mine. So you can create some amazing effects, backgrounds, spotlights, etc. And I just think it's really fun. So leave me a comment down below. I'd love to chat with you down there on your thoughts about this technique. If it's something you've done before, something you might be interested in, or something you'd like to have more information about, let me know down there. I'd love to chat with you. Also, you can also earn a chance to win prizes. We have prizes from Sandy Allnock, Amanda Stevens, Amazon, and I think there's also a surprise gift or prize. So by leaving comments, that's how you get entered to win. We would love for you to watch every video along the hop. Make sure you watch all the way to the end. Comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell so that you're notified of upcoming videos. All those things help our small channels to grow, and it also provides you with an opportunity to earn prizes. So good luck, and thank you for stopping by. So let me tell you a little bit about my card. So I'm using some Nina Classic Crest 110-pound cardstock. You see I lost a little bit of footage there, but you didn't miss much. I am using this Sweet Heffy Doodle Scallop Square stencil, and I'm laying down some Atelier inks from Ink on 3. I have the Maryland Red, the Bee Sting Yellow, and the Green Goddess, or Goddess Green, I can never remember. And then I've laid down a little bit of ink within that squared scallop square. And now I'm going to take my vine stencil from Catherine Pooler, and I'm going to lay it over the top. However, it's a very delicate, very fine stencil, and it moves around a lot. So I recommend using something like pixie spray just to give it some tack so it stays in place. That way, while you're putting your ink through the stencil, it doesn't move around and you get a real clean image. So here I've laid the Catherine Pooler vine stencil down on top of the Heffy Doodle scallop square, and I'm laying color on top of color. So I'm using the same red, yellow, and green to go through the vine stencil. So it lays down a real, because I'm using a soft hand, so it's going to be a real soft effect. You can go heavier, and you'll have a little bit darker image. And here I'm saying, wait for it, and then my stencil doesn't want to come up because there's too much pixie spray, but there it is. So, ta-da! You could leave it right there. However, I decided that I wanted that the vine image to go beyond the borders of that scallop square. So it's going to have a reverse effect. So again, I'm laying down the yellow, the green, and the red in the same areas as I have them on the square. So that vine image is going to interrupt the borders of the square, and it's going to extend really lightly because I'm using a super light hand. It's going to extend through the whole panel. And I think it's a super soft effect. Again, you can go heavier, you can go lighter, you cannot do this step, but there's a little close-up. You can see how it looks different within the square versus on the panel, but I think it's super soft and it's fun, and it kind of marries the two pieces of the card panel together. And so going back to the theme of the card hop, strength and kindness, what's your superpower? Think about what that means to you. Is there truly strength and kindness? There absolutely is, especially in the world we live in now. And I suppose every generation could have said that. But right now, with everything going on between the pandemic and the racial tensions and the injustice and the inequalities that we're facing, are they better now than they used to be? I don't know. I can't speak to that. Are they worse now than they used to be? Can't speak to that. They are what they are, and they're wrong. And so how can we use our superpower, our card-making superpowers, to bring some kindness to the world, to add some strength through our kindness to the world, to ourselves. So I guess that's our challenge, isn't it? How can we do that? Because we're all different. We all have different strengths. We all have different spheres of influence, different people in our lives, different ways that we can show kindness. So think about the influence that you have. How can you share your kindness? How can you spread strength through that? It doesn't have to be major acts. One thing I can tell you as a card maker is we can use our cards to spread some kindness. Think about the last time you got a card. How did that make you feel? Pretty wonderful, right? Jumping back to the cards. So I stamped out all my images and I colored them with my Arteza Everblends. And then I lost some footage. So after I colored them, I cut them out. And here I'm just using a dark marker to edge all the images. And I do that just to kind of clean them up because I'm not a great fussy cutter and there's always white edges. And by putting that dark edge around it, it just makes them look finished. And if you know me at all, you know that I'm no perfectionist, and I believe that perfection is a fallacy. And we shouldn't strive for perfection. We should strive for doing a job well done. And this is just another step to take us closer to that, to doing a good job, to taking pride in our work, but not stressing out about the perfection. And showing ourselves grace, right? Because I'm no fantastic colorist. I'm just not. And I've never used a Copic, so I can't compare my Everblends to a Copic, but I know that I like these a lot, and I'm learning. There are plenty of videos out there to learn to be a better colorist, to learn what the nature of the ink and how it works on different papers and that type of thing. For me, again, showing myself grace in the learning process, in card making as well as video editing and all of that. Being happy with what you've got, with what you've done, showing yourself grace and acceptance, and then growing the next time you do it, not beating yourself up. There are several things that did not go right with this card, but would anybody know it if I didn't tell them? No, absolutely not. There are things that I would change, and even in the filming process, you see right here, I'm not even in camera with what I'm doing. Did I beat myself up? No. Do I recognize an area for growth? Absolutely. And in the next one, hopefully I'll do better. But again, grace, right? Kindness, showing myself kindness, because we tend to forget about that. So I totally lost my train of thought. So I apologize. Again, grace, right? So I think you understand that the whole theme behind not only this card hop, but about this video is being kind to yourself and sharing that kindness with others. So what does that look like when you give a card? That looks like following through, making the card, maybe not having a person in mind as you're making it, but then finding someone to give it to, actually mailing it, handing it out, addressing it, popping it in the mail. Each one of those steps is a big deal because we can stop anywhere along the way and then not follow through, right? So I encourage you to do that and think about the last time you got a card and what that felt like. Just the thoughtfulness that goes behind that and to know that you were on that person's mind enough to follow through with each one of those steps is a big deal. So here, back to the video, you see that I am trying to figure out exactly where to put the little heart guy. The one with the top hat, I knew that I wanted him down at the bottom with the flowers, but the one with the heart, I wasn't sure. But anyway, I put them down there together, and there's this whole little scene. You can almost imagine a conversation. But I like to have them outside the square when I do this kind of spotlight technique. I like to have them outside, especially if I take my stencil beyond the square, because I feel like, anyway, it marries the whole card panel together. So you've got your square with the highlight color or ink blending, and then you've got your stencil that adds some dimension and texture and interest to the back, and then that extends beyond the square, and then by putting your two little images so that they take up space in both of those kind of realms, I don't know what to call them, but within the highlight and within the panel, so they're marrying the two areas together, thus bringing the whole card compilation together. And I chose a different sentiment than what I was initially going to go with. This says, "Here's a hedgehog from me," and I think that's super sweet, the little guy giving the other guy the little heart, And that's his hug, and you can see the one with the top hat has his arms out like he's ready to receive a hug. I think it's sweet. Heffy Doodle does a great job with these little critter images. And here I'm adding some Nouveau Crystal Glaze just to add a little bit of dimension and shine and texture, and it's super sweet. And I'm almost done. I'm going to show you some still shots here in a second. You can see the coloring up close. You can see the stenciling, the layered stencil technique up close. And I'm just kind of curious, what are your thoughts? Let me know. Do you think you'll use this? Do you think it turned out okay? Do you see any of my blunders? I'm guessing not, but I want to know what you think. And so again, this video is to honor Maria Nyce in her 100 subscriber YouTube hop milestone. And I encourage you to hop along with everybody, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. And I'm Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and thanks for joining me today for another crafty venture.